Hey everybody, and welcome to Bright Earth Yoga. My name is Hannah, and today we have a gentle practice for pelvic stability. So I say gentle. In gentle yoga, I tend to use a lot of props. Today I have a resistance band. This is optional, so if you don't have this, don't turn the video off. You can use a yoga strap or nothing at all. I do have a couple of blocks here. And a chair. The chair is optional too. That's just so I can show you how to use it if you want it and have it. It would also be nice if you have a wall and want to use that for support. So you can pause the video and gather those things around you, making sure you have your props ready before we get started. All right, so let's do one block. We'll take one block and a strap. We're gonna make sure those are ready for when we need them. I'm just gonna place them at the top of my mat here. And then come to lie on the back. So we're moving slowly here, the beginning of practice, just being gentle with the body as we lay all the way down. And I'm gonna pause here, just to let my mind settle in to my mat here, reminding myself that this time is for me. And all those thoughts flying through my mind about the things that have happened today so far and the things that I still have to do today, all those things can wait. We can set them aside just for this short time at least. If your mind is elsewhere, slowly pull it into your body, allowing your mind the time it needs to arrive here on your mat. And then draw your awareness to your breath. We're breathing through our noses. Deep, steady breaths in and out. Notice the sounds around you. I hear a lot of birds this morning. It rained a lot last night, so the birds are all out singing this morning. It's just so peaceful. But even if the sounds around you aren't necessarily peaceful, I can hear traffic too, which I don't naturally love that sound. I'll let that car go by. Even if the sounds around you aren't peaceful sounds, you don't think of them that way, just acknowledge them and accept them as part of your environment right now. Acknowledging and letting them be. All right, so if your eyes are closed, gently flutter them open. You can look up at your ceiling. I'm outside, so this is really nice for me. I get to look up at the leaves and the sky here. We're gonna lift the legs up. So first I'm gonna rock my pelvis back so that my low back becomes flush with the mat. And I'm gonna stick my hands right underneath the hips here to keep my pelvis tips back, just a little support there. You can also bring a blanket underneath the hips to make yourself more comfortable, but I'm gonna lift my legs up. Now listen, your legs don't have to go all the way up, like they don't have to be straight. You can bend the knee. This is our first little movement for today's class, so be gentle with yourself. Be understanding of your body and what it needs and the place where it's at today. So I've got my legs lifted, and I'm just gonna slowly, without rocking the rest of my body, start to make little leg circles around and around. They don't have to be big, just small movements here. And they don't have to be perfect circles here. Just gently exercising the muscles of the pelvis and the hips. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. I'm going to do 3 more here before we switch sides. 1, 2, 3. All right, now switch directions, moving your legs in the opposite direction, circling back around the other way. Keep breathing. Relax the shoulders here. Soften the jaw. Don't clench the jaw. The muscles around the mouth are soft. It's raining a little bit here. It feels nice. Just a little sprinkle. Mist. All right, let's do 3 more in this direction. 1, 2, 3. All right, so gently bend the knees and we'll pull the knees into the chest. Good. So I hope you can see this on the camera there. I'm going to put one hand in front of the one knee and the other hand behind or on top of the other knee. And I'm going to find just a little bit of resistance into my palms. So I'm pushing my knees in opposite directions into my palms. One knee is pressing forward and one knee is pressing backward. Good. Hold here for 3, 2, 1, and switch. So this hand comes behind this knee and this hand comes in front of this knee. And press into your hand. So you might not see too much happening here, but you are exerting this isometric force where it's like if you were to be in a plank and you have your hands pressing into the ground and the ground is solid and unmoving. You're still working really hard, but you might not see it happening. The real yoga is on the inside. Remember, you don't necessarily need to see some big motion to see that progress is being made or that something's happening in your body. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Just relax there. Close your eyes and breathe. Good. So you can let your feet drop back down to the ground, and you should have those props handy. I have a resistance band and a block. First, I'm going to take the block, and I've got it on the narrow side here. I'm just going to tuck it between the thighs. Good. And then I have my resistance band. You can get into this any way that your body needs to. So I'm going to slide this. I'm a bit more flexible than some people because I practice every day. But again, be understanding of what your body needs. I'm going to slide this resistance band over my legs. So I've got the block in between my legs and the resistance band in the outside. You can use a yoga strap for this. It doesn't have to be a resistance band. I just find it really convenient because then I don't have to fiddle with the buckles. And I've just got these, so they're my new toy. Very exciting. All right. So I'm going to move into a bridge pose here. You can use that other block to support your hips as you move up into a bridge pose so that this is a supported bridge. Or, like me, you can just scoot your heels up to your hips. I'm coming down onto my shoulder blades, wiggling onto them. And then I'm going to lift my hips and then I'm going to squeeze my legs in towards the block. Good. Now I'm gonna, a yoga strap is probably better for this. I'm gonna squeeze outward into the strap or the resistance band. And then squeeze inward into the block. Good. Squeeze outward and inward. One more time. Squeeze outward and inward. Good. And I'm going to lower my hips back down and remove my props. Just slide that off. Set it aside. And then come up by rolling onto my side and pressing myself up. Good. Let's just move that out of the way up here. Swing my legs out to one side and come forward, moving into a tabletop pose. If tabletop is really hard on your wrists, you can take your blocks on the highest height here and bring forearms down to blocks. You can also prop your forearms or hands up on a chair. I have a chair right here. You can grab onto that and scoot forward. So I'm just going to come down to my hands and knees because tabletop is pretty comfortable for me. Good. All right, so let's just move through a couple of cats and cows and connect breath and movement. So on your inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the head, deep breath in through the nose, and exhale, let the spine round as you drop the head and tuck the pelvis. Inhale, free up the pelvis, drop the belly, lift the chest and the head. And last time, we will round the spine, drop the head, tuck the pelvis as we exhale. And as you inhale, come back to a neutral spine, tabletop pose. Good. From tabletop, let's lift the left leg out behind you. It doesn't have to come way up high. In fact, don't lift it way up high because you might come into a little bit of a back bend. We don't really want that. We just want to find a little bit of strength in the core and the legs and the hips here. Where if you feel comfortable here, you can always grab onto a chair. So I have a chair at the top of my mat. You can lift your right arm up in front of you. This pose, I call it spinal balance. So we're in spinal balance here. This is a very strong pose here. Again, hang on to a chair if you're having a hard time with balance. Get that right hand steadied, steadying the rest of your body. It's still super strengthening, even if you're using that chair for balance. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down to the ground. We're just going to switch sides here. So lift the right leg out behind you. If you feel stable enough, bring the left hand out in front of you. Pin belly button to spine. You can grab onto a chair with your left hand. Keep breathing in and out the nose. Deep, steady breaths. And lower everything back down to the ground in 3, 2, and 1. All right. All right, so we're going to come up to standing. I'm going to move that out of the way. And this is the part where you may want to have a wall next to you. I'm going to grab my blocks and set them here to make a little platform that I'm going to stand on. So I've got them at the lowest level. Go ahead and come up to your feet, standing on the blocks. Make sure the feet are supported. Heels, balls of the feet, toes. My whole foot's on here. You might have to make a little bit of a different arrangement if your feet are much bigger than mine. I think I have pretty small feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand all the way up. There we go. All right, and this is something you can do with a resistance band. I'm gonna go ahead and put mine on so I can show you that. I'm gonna put it on above my knees. I don't want to stress my knee joints. Just strengthen the hips here. I'm gonna gonna step back up here. Good. So this is the part where you might want to press onto a wall, hang on to maybe your table or a banister or something. I'm gonna step over towards the edge of my block so that my right leg, I'm doing it on this side first so you can see a little better, is just off the edge of the mat. It's just in the air there, unsupported. Good. This might be enough for you, or you can start to move the leg out to the side. Just little pulses. Don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. Let's do 3 more pulses if you're moving. 3, 2, 1. And you can also move the leg back and forth. I'm going a little fast. I'm going to slow it down. Back and forth. Now, the reason that I am standing on the blocks is so that I can make these movements without my foot scraping against the ground. You could do this on the edge of a stair as well. All right, I'm going to switch sides here. But I also want to keep my feet level so the foot's not dipping down, making the pelvis uneven. I'm keeping the pelvis level here. I'm just holding here with the foot unsupported. And I'm going to do little pulses out to the side. Let's do 3 more of those. 3, 2, 1. And then move the leg back and forth. This is really hard work. It requires a lot of strength to be able to do this. There's a lot of strength and balance. Good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and step down and move my blocks out of the way here. All right, so I've got the resistance band on. You can do this without a resistance band, of course, but I'm gonna move into chair pose. So I'm gonna sink my hips back, keeping my weight evenly distributed in my feet. So you can hang on to a chair or the edge of a table as well. I've got a chair there, but I'm not gonna flip it around because I don't need to. It's also very muddy out here. All right, so you can hang on to a chair, or you can lift the arms wherever you feel stable. Holding here for 3, 2, don't hold your breath, and 1. Good. Straighten the legs. Now we're gonna move back into downward facing dog. So this pose can be done with a chair. I'm gonna show you that first. I'm gonna put my hands down on the chair. And then, just because I have the resistance band, I'm just going to walk my feet back. So here's one version of downward facing dog. My hands are on a chair. If that's really intense, you can also just come down onto the knees into a tabletop position. Or you can come to a more traditional downward facing dog, like so. All right, we're going to take 5 deep breaths in our down dog here. And remember, you don't have to have the legs straight. You can bend the knees, easing into the backs of the legs. But let's take 5 deep breaths. Inhale, deep breath in, and exhale. 1. Deep breath in, and exhale. 2. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. 3. Breathe in and breathe out. 4. Last time, breathe in and breathe out. 5. All right, so come down to the knees. I'm keeping my resistance band on. I'm going to move those blocks out of my way here. All the way down onto the belly. So I'm going to move into a locust pose, Shalabhasana. And for this locust pose, I'm gonna leave this variation. I'm gonna leave my head resting on the ground here. So you can make a little pillow for the head with the hands. I've got my head turned to the side just because I'm looking at the camera. But you can rest the forehead down on the hands here. And then we're just going to lift the legs. Good. And you don't have to lift them really high, but bring the toes to point outward. So we're rotating till toes are pointing out towards the corners of the mat, towards the sides of the mat. Good. Keep holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down. We're going to do that one more time. So on an inhale, lift your legs. Legs are rotating so that the toes point out towards the sides of the mat, towards the corners of the mat. Keep breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down to the mat. And take a little bit of rest here. Good. So we're going to move on to our backs. I'm going to press myself up. Walk my knees up, swinging legs out to the side, removing the resistance band. And then gently coming all the way down onto the back. Before we move into Shavasana, let's walk the feet pretty wide here and then windshield wiper legs one way and then the other. Just moving slowly and gently. All right, and come to stillness. And then rock the pelvis back so that the low back becomes flush to the mat and pull the knees up into the chest. We're going to do this one more time here. I've got my palm on opposite sides of my knees and press into my palms there. Soften the muscles of the face. Don't clench the jaw. Just allow yourself to grow soft and open. And then I'm going to switch my palms to the opposite sides and press. Good. Slowly release. Good. And then walk your feet mat's distance apart. And let your knees fall into the midline, which is just this imaginary line that runs to the center of the body. So knees are falling in together, supporting each other. Hands can rest wherever feels comfortable. And we'll just pause here for a moment. We'll take a couple of cleansing breaths. So find a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale it out. Once more, deep inhale through the nose and open the mouth to exhale. You can stay here, take your Shavasana here, or you can just let your feet come down to the bottom of your mat, feet at least mat's distance apart. Hands can rest down by your sides with the palms facing up as the heart space opens. Job well done. Extend a little gratitude to yourself for coming to your mat today, for taking this time out to take care of your body, to nourish the mind and the senses, to find movement, to accept stillness. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste.